Join me as we take a fast lap around the Autobahn Country Club South course in our Driver Academy Toyota GR86 Cup car. Anticipation builds as the pace car pulls away, heads into the pits, and the cars are packed up pretty tight, 2 by 2, as we head for the starter stand. Approach the starter stand, the green flag drops on the gas. Good passing opportunity here as you're coming to a very, very slow, tight turn. 3 abreast going through this turn most of the time. Back on the gas, heading for turn 2. As they approach turn 3, cars start to string out a little bit, and this fast left-hander, a little bit of a downhill here. Back on the gas, heading for turn 4. A very fast left-hander, maybe ease off the gas, maybe tap the brake just a little bit to get the nose down. Now we're a little bit uphill climb here to turn 5. Just a little bit of braking required here as you head towards turn 6. This turn is a little tricky as it's 2 turns, big sweeping turn, a good passing opportunity if you have enough guts to stay on the inside track. Now you're heading up to turn 7, the kink as we call it. Cars are stringing out pretty far now as we get some good speed on and the pack starts to separate a little bit. Hard braking into turn 8. Get another good passing opportunity here as you head for what we call patience. This is probably the hardest turn on the course to master. You got to go pretty deep, you got to brake pretty hard, and you got to turn pretty tight. Okay, so now we're at turn 10. Longest straightaway on the course, 1,850 feet. Back on the throttle hard. Time to relax a little bit, loosen up your grip, take a couple of deep breaths, get ready for this hard braking. Again, another good passing opportunity coming up to turn 11, which is a 90-degree right-hand turn. Barely having time to straighten out the wheel before it's time to make this immediate left-hander. Now you're heading for the last 2 turns on the course, turns 13 and 14. Relatively fast turn with 2 apexes before you straighten out the wheel, and you're back on the main straightaway heading for the start-finish line, and you've now completed a full lap at the Autobahn Country Club.
Welcome to the live stream. Today, it's Miatas. You're watching Autobahn Member Racing. This time, race 10 of 14 for the Spec Miata series. I'm Mike Anzaldi. Standing next to me is Patrick Morgan. Lots of excellent battles to talk about in Spec Miata 1 and Spec Miata 2 today, a combined race. Again, it's race number 10 out of 14. We dropped 4 races in Spec Miata, so the points race is starting to get interesting. And in Spec Miata 1 today, we've got Taro Kushida and Matt Alexander only 20 points apart, with Taro leading that battle. Over in Spec Miata 2, Kevin Lockridge and Mark Stadolski going at it. There's a 45-point spread between those two, and it's only going to get more interesting from here. Patrick?
Yeah, we had great qualifying today with Billy Benning setting the pace in Spec Miata with a 137.9. He was the only one to dip into the 137s, but you have to go all the way back to P9 to find a greater than 1 second gap. So this field is extremely tight. Billy Benning, followed by Taro Kushida, followed by Jake Malter, Alex Bertignoli, Ethan Tyler, Gavin Gleitzman, Matt Alexander, Mike Bernardi, Scott Bowman, and Luke Satterfield make up the top 10. Again, really super close, and just about any single one of those drivers could take the top position today. Back in SM2, Sam Bowman, 14-year-old driver, won his first SM2 race out, coming in from karting. and he's looking to repeat that today. Qualified on pole for SM2 at a 139.2. That would have actually put him right behind his father, Scott Bowman, if he were to be in the regular SM series. So Scott Bowman, Sean Bennett, Bob Raysinger, Kevin Lockridge, John Southard, Alex Zocher, AJ Van Vuren, who's starting his first race today, Eli Dysart, Bruce Malter, and Mark Stadowski are making up the top 10 for SM2. We're on board with Sean Varwig right now, and we're going to be completing our second of 2 pace laps before the start of our race.
Yeah, it looks like the field is just making their way around turns 1, 2, and coming through 3. The Lexus pace car heading in toward turn 4 for the second of the 2 pace car laps. Hi, I'm Mike. This is Patrick. We've got drone shots going on. We've got in-car cameras going on today, too. We've got Sean Varwig that you just saw. Luke Satterfield also has a camera inside his car, so we'll watch the battles taking place a little bit more back into the midfield. Sean is at the back of the field. He didn't have a transponder to put down a time during qualifying, so he unfortunately has to start at the back. Looks like this is from Luke Satterfield's car, and we do have some drone shots as these beautiful pictures are coming to us here on the Autobahn South course. What do we have left for Spec Miata schedule? Today it's races 10 and 11. We've got race 12 next Sunday over on the North Track. Race 13 September 28th. That one's going to be live streamed. That's a South Track race. We wrap up the season at Oktoberfest. That is October 12th. It's a full track race.
Yeah, and we want to shout out a thank you to Signature Production Group, to Cutting Edge Graphics, and also First Bank Card Processing for helping us put on this production and allowing us to bring you all of this live action from Autobahn Country Club. We've got our first group that's looking to head into turn 8 right now, so we got a couple of turns before we throw the green flag. Again, it is going to be a split start. We've got everybody going through patience right now, so we're getting ourselves ready and prepared for green.
Yeah, this is the Spec Miata field that we're seeing on our screen right now as they head in toward turn 11 behind the Lexus safety car that will exit at pit exit here in just a couple of turns. But everybody looks like they're organized coming down the back straight. It looks like we have a little over a half of a straight, maybe even longer of that split start. So that is a good situation for both classes. Let's get these guys separated. So pace car is going to peel off here, and it looks like we're going to have Benning set the pace here as they look for the green flag in race 10. Everybody is bunching up really nicely, waiting for that green flag, and we have it. We've got a green flag, and looking toward the inside right now is that Martini car of Jake Malter. Looks like Taro Kushida is in the middle of that one, and he's going to take the lead heading in toward turn 2. The Spec Miata 2 class is now going to take their green flag, and they have green, and the race into turn 1 is on. Scott Bowman and Sean Benet lead that situation, and it looks like Bowman first through. He is heading in toward turn 2 on the inside. Bob Reisinger continues to hold his second place position, and they get organized as they head through turn 3, heading down into the high-speed left-hander at 4.
That looked like Emmett Ryan with a small little off and then back on. Now we're back on with Sean Varwig. Again, he's starting from the back of the pack in Spec Miata, looking to clamber up his way through the field. He is right behind Luke Satterfield in that gray, green, and blue car in front of him as they go into turn 8. He's gaining a lot of position in the braking zone, so expect him to make a lot of overtakes really early on in the goings here.
Yeah, first one up for Varwig is going to be Art Zeismer. Then he's got Bowman to deal with, Sorg in front of him. So that is a tough place to start your race for Varwig.
And it looks like he's already picked off about 5 or 6 cars now. A little lockup going into turn 8 from one of the SM2 cars, but they're keeping it clean. Everybody's starting to form a single file line and kind of find their pace.
There goes Taro. Couple of car lengths. Gavin Gleitzman up to 4th. On the inside here, let's watch what he can do coming in toward 13. Looks like he's taking over P3. That's Gavin. New engine in Gavin's car this weekend. He rode yesterday in the GT Series, the only Spec Miata to do so, just to get a little bit of extra practice in the rain. And he's going to hold on to P3 heading into turn 1, but everybody's looking inside of him. There's 3 cars looking to take the inside there at turn 2.
That's Benning and Malter that went into turn 2 side by side, and they're going through it. It looks like Malter gets the better end of the deal on that one.
Kushida keeps the lead heading in toward 4. He and Alexander look like they're going to pull out nicely. That's Gavin Gleitzman currently in P2 on the sheets, but yeah, there's a nice battle heading in toward turn 6 here. And everybody is well behaved at the moment, starting to settle in. Here comes the Spec Miata 2 leaders. Sean Varwick back on board with him. He is giving all sorts of trouble to that number 26 car of Scott Bowman. A little bit of lockup from Bowman trying to hold his place, and Varwick's going to get a couple of cars here. Off. Yeah, for sure. And Bowman's still off to the left side, if that is in fact him. Wow, lots of action. I got Kevin Davis coming in through 8 and now at 9 and 10. Kevin Davis with a new motor in his car. Spec Miata 2 coming in toward turn 8.
Yeah, again, another beautiful shot from the back straightaway here. Cars coming out of patience and zipping down towards turn 11 as we see a pretty good smattering of the SM2 field here. Taro Kushida still with a pretty commanding lead.
That's Alex Bertagnoli that is really starting to breathe down his neck. And Gavin now holding on to P3, and he's got a whole situation developing behind him. Back on board with Varwick.
Something must have happened with Billy Benning because he's fallen down the order pretty quickly. So that first lap was may have been a make or break for him.
Indeed, and that's Varwick all over Bernardi right now, just giving him mirrors full. Heading in toward turn 5. Look at the action here. Looks like Bernardi taking to the inside here. That's the exit of turn 6. There goes Gleitzman. There goes Malter. And there goes that action with Varwig, and now Varwig has made it past Bernardi and is dealing with Matt Alexander.
Yeah, just to give an idea, in class, Varwig started P11, and that puts him up to now P7, and they're just going to continue to be picked off. So we'll see if he can maybe pick up a podium.
Varwig has spent the weekend here at the club. He's hanging out in the parking lot, and so his head is certainly involved in racing at the moment. So most of the rest of us are living lives the rest of the time. But you got Varwig hanging out here right in the paddock all weekend. So his mind is on racing, and he's having a good time out there blasting around trying to chase people down. He is currently sitting in P8 trying to chase down Bernardi. Good drone shot here on the back straight heading in toward turn 11. That is Malter in the Martini livery here as he makes his turn in toward 11, and pace is pretty good at the moment. It looks like the lap times are down into the 38s, high 38s for Alex Bertagnoli this last time around.
And just an update on SM2 a little bit further back. John Southard is leading that one over Sean Benet. Connor Mikolos has moved up to P3. Alan Zocker is in P4. Emmett Ryan is P5. There is pretty much only 1 second between that lot of the top 5 in SM2. You could see them coming into turn 1. They're still side by side.
What a great race. What a great race in Spec Miata 2. And that situation is developing. Again, we talked about it earlier with Kevin Lockridge and Mark Stadalski, those two in a really tight battle. And now with just a few races to go, these races are all going to start to mean something here as the drops become an issue. And, yeah, it's getting really tight, and these races are definitely important. Camera we're looking at right now is out of turn 6. You're seeing cars head through there, basically single file. No serious battles taking place at this moment in time, but go back to our drone shot. Beauty coming into turn 11 there at the end of the long straight. It does look like Bertagnoli is, again, giving Taro Kushida everything that he can handle. The last couple of laps from those guys were 38.7 and 39, respectively, so they're definitely keeping the race pace high.
And they're still keeping things nice and tight, too. Gaps are dropping, and pretty much all competitors out there right now are turning the fastest laps of the race so far, so they're only getting quicker. Taro Kushida with the fastest lap so far of a 1:38.7. Bertignoli with a 1:38.7 as well. Malter not too far behind with a 38.9. So the whole entire front of that pack is still super tight, and we've got 18 laps remaining. So do you continue to push and you wear down those tires a little bit quicker, knowing that you got to use them going into race 2, or do you kind of settle in place and make a move later on?
I think they're settling nicely. I think high 39s is probably a good race pace in the Spec Miata series, so it doesn't look like they're pushing too hard, but these guys are all pretty much on top of each other with some great battles taking place, not just between Kushida and Bertignoli, but also with Bernardi and Tyler. And we've gone off. That's Varwig. That is very typical of Varwig. I've seen this kid race all the time. This kid's in the grass half of the time. He is coming barreling back on into patience, and this is Sean Varwig. Classic Varwig stuff, riding around in the grass out in turn 8. We'll send him a bill. Don't you worry about that.
We know it's no harm, no foul. But
that's nice grass out there. That's good grass.
We pay a lot to get that manicured.
Absolutely we do.
But if you take a look right now, Jake Malter and Ethan Tyler are just absolutely going at it for that last podium position, going across start-finish line. There is all of 0.1 second between them as they go, and now Gleitzman.
And look at Gleitzman's all over Bernardi. Excellent.
There's nobody safe. There's nobody safe in this field.
Look at him inside. He's looking inside, Gleitzman. Gleitzman's got his mirrors full as well, so he's got it coming from the front and the back. It's definitely a situation for him.
Yeah, that whole P6 through about P9 group right there that's going through turn 4, they have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, those guys are all running in the high 39s, so they're all doing about the same lap time. They're just going to settle in here. We have many laps to go, right? So about 17 of them. So, yeah, I would say this the point of the race where we kind of start to settle in a little bit and just knock out those lap times.
So now who's to say that Malter and Tyler are not working together? They're kind of in their own little two-car train in front of this other pack that's behind them. So what's to say they can't bump draft in the straightaways and just move themselves gradually up?
And they're going side by side. If we can go down toward turn 11, I think there's a side-by-side situation developing with a couple of these guys right now. Look at them. They're all over each other heading in toward turn 11. What a battle that is developing here. Yeah, that's Malter.
Malter's making that car as wide as he possibly can.
He's trying to hold him off. Wow. Ethan Tyler is super skilled behind the wheel of a Miata. I wouldn't want him in my rearview mirrors for sure.
Yeah, you have Bernardi and Gleitzman that are just behind Matt Alexander. So Alexander's got a front row view to this fight going on between Ethan Tyler and Jake Malter, but they do look to be like they're working together. Tyler's not really making any overtaking maneuvers, and he's just kind of settled in behind Malter. And we're getting a report that Mike Ryan in SM has come into pit, so his race is kind of done for, unfortunately. Maybe he can get out there and
look at this
the laps.
battle. This is an excellent battle. Great drone shots. Great drone shots of this battle, and yeah, that's the most exciting one on track at the moment.
On board here with Satterfield.
Yep, Satterfield coming through turn 5 now, approaching 6. Looks like he's settling in nicely, Satterfield.
Right behind Greg Sorg.
Yeah, he's chasing down Sorg in that graffiti-looking car.
It's probably got to be one of the coolest liveries that's out there on any car.
For
there it goes
sure.
Through turn 8.
Greg Sorg in Oak Parker lives down the street from me. Met him a couple of years ago. Very nice guy there, and excellent in the Spec Miata class. He has done a really nice job over the last couple of years. But this battle continues here as we head in toward turn 11. And again, there's really not much difference between these two guys. You can't even fit a car between the two. That is Malter being chased down by Tyler. Turn 13 now as they head onto the main straight there. Beautiful drone shots. And again, the tightest battle on the track as we see our camera zooming in here from turn 1. What a great battle. And it looks like Tyler is going to keep himself right in place on line behind Malter. And those two are just going to keep battling it out here. 15 to go.
Sam Bowman in SM2, as expected, is really running away with it. Right now, he's already up in the mix with other Spec Miata cars. I just saw him P15 overall. So he's in front. Funny enough, he's in front of Bertignoli and Art Zeismer. Bertignoli was running right up front for a little while there, so he must have had some trouble, or maybe was involved with that off that we saw from Varwig as well.
Not a giant lead for Bowman. He's got a couple of seconds lead over Zeismer, and then Bertignoli's another 4 seconds back there. But good battle taking place in Spec Miata too. Sam Bowman, how about that? A karting prodigy here at Autobahn, and he has been in Spec Miatas. He's been in race cars once. Last race, what did he do? He won it. He came back to this race, and we do have a spin here. And this is just coming out of turn 6. Wow. That's in the Spec Miata 2 class. That's Reisinger who just avoids, and that's going to be Eli Desart as he spins around and collects it and is now making his way up toward turn 7. Back to the drone and back to the best battle we have on track, and that's Tyler and Malter. Malter still with the lead as they make their way through 13 onto the main straight here. This is the camera we have hanging off of the start-finish tower, and this battle can't get any closer.
And that's a start-finish tower that you can't miss by Gallagher Asphalt. Thank you, Gallagher Asphalt, for making our racetrack very smooth and very safe, and also very dry today. Which is we got another one off at the Exit of Patience.
Who's that?
We've got a lost wheel on Varwig.
Oh, that's Varwig.
So
yep, that's Varwig.
We're going to go
caution.
Full course caution.
We're going to go full course caution, and again, that is not unsurprising to see Varwig involved in a little bit of drama, a little bit of mechanical drama. Wheels flying off that car. He drives around in the grass. He sleeps in his trailer. The kid's out of control. The best thing for him is to sit the rest of this race out and prepare himself for lunch and maybe race number 2 this afternoon. Oh, wow.
Yep,
the drone. What a great shot. Great drone shot. Varwig has taken on big damage losing that right rear.
Yeah, apparently he didn't tell that right rear wheel that it was supposed to be involved with the race until the end. So he'll get that fixed. We'll see him again in race 2. Hopefully with that transponder now working, he can possibly come up with a couple positions based on his race laps from this race that will set the grid for the next one.
That's right. Let's see if I could find his fastest here to see how he's doing along those lines.
He would be P9 with a 139.2.
Yeah.
Which isn't too bad. I mean, that's at least better than starting from all the way at the back of the SM pack.
And it's tough to say if these lap times are going to continue to kind of plateau, if they will get faster, slower, whatever. I mean, we're halfway through this race at this point. 13 laps remaining. Full course caution. These guys are going to have a good amount of time for those tires to cool off and get back down to the pressures that they want to be and the temperature that they want to be. And so it's definitely good to have a couple of laps where you're really not putting any stress on the tires. And so those things will, again, cool down. You're not going to wear them out so bad. But yeah, we're going to queue everybody up behind the safety car and get things organized with Varwig's car. Just speaking with him yesterday, he does have those upgraded hubs on his car. Unclear whether one of those broke in the back or if some other failure took place where his right rear departed the vehicle. Whether or not the damage we're seeing on the back of his car has to do with the wheel departing or if there was contact before that is still unclear, but we'll continue to look at that as we go on board Satterfield.
Yeah, as the cars gather behind the Lexus pace car, we'd like to thank our Performance Fleet partner Lexus for providing the LC500 F Sport, the official pace car of Autobahn Country Club's member racing series. And the interesting thing is with Varwig's breakdown with that tire or that wheel coming off, he has not yet crossed the halfway mark to gather points for this race. So that is another big implication too, where he's going to have to try even harder from race 2.
Yeah, no points. No points for Varwig on this one. Unfortunately, in the Autobahn member series, you do have to finish half of the race distance in order to get your starting points. So he will be short there because this is a 22-lap race. He will have had to make it to lap 11, and that didn't quite work out. So while we wait for the rescue vehicle to head out there, maybe a flatbed is probably what they're calling, we are going to continue under full course caution. If you're on the property, and I know we have a lot of guests on the property today, watch all of today's racing action from the Old Second South Deck. Thank you, Old Second, for providing a cool, comfortable place to cheer on our member racing series. Excellent drone shots down the back stretch as the field makes their way through 11.
And just a quick update on SM2. SM2, we still have Sam Bowman in the lead, obviously, with the pace car now. That closes the whole entire field up behind him. There is a Spec Miata car, Art Zeismer, that's in between him and Kevin Lockridge, who's in P2 for SM2, and followed immediately behind him by Sean Benet. So that SM2 field is now closed right back up again, and this will probably take maybe a lap or two. Oh, that's Greg Sorg that's now in the paddock, so his race is done. He didn't make it to halfway either.
That's a tough one for Sorg. You can kind of just see him off. He's not even in the pit anymore. He is retired to the paddock. But, yeah, those top three in Spec Miata 2, you got Bowman, Lockridge, and Southard. No, you got Benet. You got Benet in P3 and Southard in P4. Nice drone shot heading through turn 6. That's Malter's Martini liveried Spec Miata. He is doing a nice job holding off the guy right behind him. That's Ethan Tyler. He's a race winner. He's a guy that can win races around here. There's not that we were looking through the standings to kind of see who can win a Spec Miata race in this series. There's really probably only 5, 6, 7 guys that are in this field that can win, that can legitimately win this race in a full race without any weirdness going on. And those people are Taro Kishida, Billy Benning, who's qualified on the pole. We're not totally sure about his situation yet. He's only running a couple of races.
He's currently in P12.
Yeah, so Alex Bertignoli, he can win a race in this series. Ethan Tyler, obviously. Gavin Gleitzman, we were talking about him earlier, the 14-year-old. He's only been in Spec Miata for a very short amount of time here. He's got a new engine in his car. He's very quick. He's the son of a multiple-time Spec Miata Autobahn champion, Jamie Gleitzman, so he definitely has a solid team behind him. Mike Bernardi, Matt Alexander, those guys are race winners. They can win races. That's basically who we're talking about here. So in this situation, let's watch Taro Kishida. He has the lead here. Bertignoli right on him, and then that excellent battle between Malter and Tyler. And right behind them, 2 veterans, Alexander and Bernardi. Gavin Gleitzman and Scott Bowman behind them. So it's really just a who's who of quality Spec Miata drivers here in race 10 on the South Course. Back on board again with Luke Satterfield. He's looking at the back of one of the Ballard cars. Looks like Scott in front of him, another veteran. Scott Ballard, he can win races around here too. The competition, Scott Ballard, and I know this guy well. He and I are around the same age. I would not say that I can go in one of these races and win. I don't know that he would say that he would go in and be a real contender to win a Spec Miata race on this day, but he is definitely a veteran and somebody who is always sneaking around the top 10 and most of the time the top 5. So Scott Ballard.
Well, in order to win, you only have to be faster than second place. So right now, faster than second place, if we've got Bertignoli in second place, as long as Taro Kishida keeps a good pace on him, then he's got the win. But like we've seen with that team up between them, behind them with Jake Malter and Ethan Tyler, What if they go and decide, hey, we've been playing nice for the first half of this race. Let's tag team up, use the power of the cars to the advantage, keep with that front pack, and then 2 laps to go, all gloves are off. Then everybody for themselves.
Sounds about right, and it sounds like that's probably the type of scenario that we're going to see play out here. It looks like it looks like Sean's car's on the back of that flatbed. I don't know if we're going to go green in the next 3 corners, but yeah, it looks like we're making some room here. Let's see, who else can we talk about? Spec Miata 2, who we've met is Andre Van Vuren and his son AJ. AJ's doing his first race in Spec Miata 2, and this is really only the second race weekend for Dad. Just what a nice group of people. AJ is and his father have some good conversations with them. They're having a great time. New members as of last year, and they're just having a blast now that they have a couple of Spec Miatas, and they're mixing it up here in the member racing series. Spec Miata 2, a great place for people to start their racing careers. A lot of kids coming out of go-karts here at Autobahn, moving right into Spec Miata, and they go into that Spec Miata 2 class. Somebody like Sam Bowman, who's already putting down times that are pretty good, mid-pack, maybe even, top half of the pack in Spec Miata 1. So we've seen that multiple times as we take a drone shot here of Varwig's car on a flatbed, a very familiar sight to see a piece of equipment owned by Varwig on the back of a flatbed truck over at the racetrack. We love the kid. We love the kid. He's one of the most exciting people on the property, and he has provided for us again today with a dramatic departure of his right rear wheel. We're going on board on the back of the flatbed right now. Look at the flatbed as it takes that right turn without any trouble at all. No roll in that vehicle. It's just a beautiful situation with a Spec Miata in the back of that. Nice shocks on the back of the flatbed. You're at a racetrack. That's an upgraded flatbed. There's no doubt about it. It's one of the fastest, one of the best flatbeds you'll see in the Midwest, no doubt.
And, of course, the Autobahn safety team is second to none. We are going to be going back to green here this time by. We're getting a report. But to go back to what you were saying about the Van Vurens, that's one of a couple of father-son teams that are out here right now. We've seen the battle up front with Jake Malter. His father, Bruce Malter, is in the fight as well. And then you've got the Ryans. You've got Mike Ryan and Emmett Ryan that are both racing out there as well. So pretty cool to see. It's a family type of race today.
Oh, you got so many Ryans. You have so many Ryans in the field on a regular basis. That's another family that's having a great time here, relatively new at Autobahn, and all of those boys in college. One of them just graduated over at Dayton. Another one is a new freshman at Dayton. Another one of the boys is down at Embry-Riddle down in Florida learning mechanical engineering. So what a great family, the Ryan family. We see them a lot in Spec Miata.
Absolutely. We're coming back down the back straightaway. We're going to be headed back to green. What's your mindset going to a restart? You think maybe yellows breed yellows? We might have another one. Make a move now and make it count?
I'd say so. I'd say for people like those that are battling that we've been watching, Malter and Tyler, those guys are going to be going at it. Kashida and Bertignoli, this is going to be interesting. The safety car is off, and we're waiting for a green flag here with 10 to go in race number 10. Here comes the green. Single file. Taro leads. Who's looking out? That's Gavin Gleitzman back in fifth, looking to the inside. Everybody's single file going into one. No problems here. Gavin Gleitzman side by side with Bernardi. Taro leads heading in toward turn 3, and we are settled in nicely. A couple of position changes back in Spec Miata 2, but otherwise we're pretty well organized, and everybody has behaved. Look at that line of cars as we head in turn 4, but Bertignoli all over Kashida.
Yeah, nobody's really doing any breakout moves right now, and you're still going to wait for tires to heat up and get your car back into a good pace. You know, you're only starting from a roll on the front straightaway, but looks like
that's an inside move.
It does look like Tyler just got by.
He did it.
And
he did it.
Malter's going to be
great drone shot. Great drone shot. That's Malter, but Malter's looking to retake that position. And look at the inside. That's Bernardi. Wow,
Bernardi on the inside of 2 cars.
He is crowding Matt Alexander as they head in toward Patience. Taro Kishida doesn't want to have anything to do with this stuff. He continues to lead out in front and hold Bertignoli right behind him.
And they're doing the same thing that they were before the caution. They're in their own two-car train right in front, and it is still Malter and Tyler behind him, but in a flip position now.
Back on board Satterfield as he chases down Bowman. Not Bowman, but Ballard. And they're all working through turn number 11. That front battle is excellent. It is spread by not even an amount of time that's worth talking about. These guys are basically bumper to bumper as the rest of the field makes its way through 11 and in toward 12 and 13 now. That main straight where Kishida continues to hold off Bertignoli, but not by much. Wow.
Bernardi's almost using the rain line at this point. He's just not even paying attention to what the proper racing line is. He's just popping out at every opportunity. He might be just playing mind games with everybody in front of him, but he's all over the track.
Well, he's looking to pick up P5 and a spin here in turn 1. That's car number 20, and that is going to be I'm not sure who 20 is.
I'm checking on my list.
Well, that's
I think it was 28. That was Dishart.
Dishart, right. He had that spin in turn 6.
So he's consistent.
Yeah, there goes Kevin Davis leaving Kevin Lockridge through 6.
And there's the other Malter in car number 427, that white Spec Miata.
A couple of lockups going into 9. See some smoke. And then 10, that left-hander that leads you out onto the long straight on the south track as you're heading north. Look at this battle, taking a little bump drafting in the middle of your screen as we head down.
And that's they're bumping that red and black car number 77, Benning, that was in the lead. And that looks like...
That's a dive inside. That is a dive inside, and that is a pass for position. And Malter...
That's 26. That's Scott Bowman.
And that is Lockridge on the inside as they head in toward 11. He uses all the curb on the inside of 11. Lockridge does.
Well, Kushida and Bertignoli are not pulling out the lead like they had in front of Tyler and Malter before. And it seems like Tyler and Malter are using that advantage of staying together, working the race, 7 laps to go, try and keep up with the field at the front, and see who can lock out that last podium position.
Let's talk about Bernardi for a second, who's moved himself up to P5, and he is chasing down Jake Malter. He's got to deal with Gavin Gleitzman and Matt Alexander, but Bernardi in a nice position right now. He's
all over the back of him.
And look at Gleitzman. He's right there, looks to the outside of turn 6. They're going to try to go through side by side. Wow.
Alexander with a big lockup, too.
Incredible. Let's see how this goes out. Looks like Gleitzman had to relinquish that position there, but Bernardi's still in P5, and he holds them off heading into turn 8. He's got Alexander. He's got Gleitzman's got Alexander all over his rear bumper.
That 5, 6, 7 battle is really turning up the wick now. They're not even realizing that there's 7 laps to go. You can let the race come to you if you want, but they're making the race happen right now.
Not these guys. They are not waiting for that race to come to them. They're going to go get this. Any of those people in that pack right now, they're going for it.
And back on board with Satterfield, we're looking back at Benning right behind. Again, qualified on pole. Actually, that's not Benning. That looks like the number 26 right behind him.
Yeah, that's Scotty.
Benning's right in front of Satterfield.
Mm-hmm. Well, so that's Bowman. I think we're seeing Bowman right in front. And this battle, this 1, 2, 3, 4 battle is incredible. Taro Kishida continues to hold a 1/10 of a second lead, and that pretty much what separates the first 4 cars is about a 10th of a second between each of them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see now what happens with the battle between Tyler and Malter. Tyler just set his fastest lap of the race right now, which is actually just a tiny bit slower than Malter, but if that means he's finding some more pace in his car, he might be able to pull away and secure that 3rd place on the podium.
I think I'm seeing Lockridge up in P2, Lockridge up in Spec Miata P2 at this point. He's got a battle going on with Mark Stadolski in the championship standings, and so a meeting with him this morning was like, hey, man, that's the guy that you're going to have to watch out for. Look at this action as we head in toward turn 8. That's Bertignoli on the outside, but Taro's got the ideal line on the inside. We're full throttle. Look at everybody trying to get their way through 9, and who knows what's going to happen here as we're approaching toward turn 11, but it looks like we're side by side for 3-4. It looks like position number 3 wants to push up on Alex Bertignoli. I don't know if it's going to happen right here. Everybody's going to fall back into line as we head toward turn 11. Good call there. Nothing to be gained by trying to dive bomb on lap 6 in toward turn 11 in a Spec Miata.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4 just went into turn 10 there with hardly any space in between them, not even a car length. And we're just getting word that Zucker has unfortunately retired due to a puncture on his car, which is not exactly a fun way to end your race, but he's gone by that halfway point. Mike Bernardi is the red car in the tail of that group running P5. He's looking, we got a spin outside of Patience.
Turn 11.
Turn
Yeah,
10.
right, turn 11. Yeah, excellent.
Off and back on, no harm, no foul. That was Lee Werner. He was running in the back of SM2, kind of running his own race, but that's okay.
Wow. Look at this battle heading into turn 6. This is P1, 2, 3, and 4. Taro likes the inside there. It looks like Bertignoli on the outside. He's going to have a run heading down toward turn 8.
We just got an example of every single different line that you could take through turn 6.
Absolutely.
Right there.
They were all on a different line.
And they all came out at the same speed.
Look at Taro. How impressed are you with this guy? He's able to stay on the racing line, not worry about what's happening behind him, and just knock out these consistent laps. He's going to need to do it 5 more times, which is not an easy thing to do. This is going to be about 7.5 more minutes of action that he's going to need to keep it all together.
Yeah, he's in the clean and fresh air, but I've noticed that coming out of Patience that Tyler seems to have a pretty good run coming out of the turns, especially compared to Malter, who falls a little bit behind on the straightaways but closes it right back up in the braking zones.
What a great train. Ethan Tyler is pushing Bertignoli in front of him with the number 4 car and Jake Malter in the 69 car trying to pick up the pieces.
Well, just look at the cars behind him, too. Bernardi's not letting him out of his sights, and neither is Matt Alexander. And Gleitzman's right there, too. They're all together still, but it's that first 4 that are just locked in step.
Braddy's in a nice position because when these 4 start to battle and it all goes wrong, he's going to be sitting in the catbird seat there. He's enough of a few car lengths back that any sort of action that takes place in front of him, he'll be able to sneak by. So if those guys start getting elbows out and pushing each other around, watch for Bernardi to sneak up onto the podium here.
Look how much room that Tyler makes up in the braking zones going into 6.
There is no room between Tyler and Bertignoli. That is crazy.
So now you're Bertignoli. You're sitting in second place. Are you focusing out of your windshield, or are you checking your mirrors every single turn?
I'm completely ignoring what's going on behind me with Ethan Tyler. Even if he's bump drafting me, I'm not looking at that situation. I'm staring at the front bumper, or rather the rear bumper of Taro Kishida in front of me.
As we take a look at this awesome drone shot coming out of Patience, again, just watch the exit that Tyler has. He seems to be a little bit better on the straightaways, but watch Malter in the braking zones. Malter closes it up really well. He might be able to maybe study this for the couple laps, and then 2 laps from now he can make a move because he closes right back in on that pack.
It doesn't look like anybody has a power advantage over those 4 cars. It looks like they're all about an equal pull out of turn 10. We go back on board with Satterfield. Satterfield continues to chase down Sam Bowman and bouncing over the curbs. That is Sammy Bowman in front of him. That is the leader of your Spec Miata 2 class at the moment. Sam Bowman looking to go 2 for 2. This battle 1 through 4 continues to go on. It looks like the only thing that's happening here is they try to go to the outside, and the action does take place. It's going to be a couple of cars to the outside. We lost Tyler. We lost Malter. Bernardi into P3. We just talked about this in the last lap.
Yep, he was far enough behind where he didn't have to be worried about whatever was going on in front of him. Looks like Malter was able to escape from that and get a couple positions, but it was Tyler that ended up getting off in the grass, and he might be stuck. We might end under caution if he's stuck out there.
Oh, that is so unfortunate because this is such a great race. I hope we hold off on the yellow flags until we can really figure out what's going on there in turn 3, because this battle is just too good to isolate and to freeze with a yellow flag right now. You got Mike Bernardi in P3 chasing these guys down, and it looks like Alex Bertignoli is really pushing at this point. So watch him as he heads down into turn 11 and he chases down Kushida, here on the back straight, but not too many opportunities remaining, especially if we have to go to a caution here.
Yeah, hopefully Tyler can at least get things fired back up and going. That would leave us green for the remaining laps, which would continue this awesome fight up at the front. As we also watch an awesome fight in the mid-packs, too. If you look at... before Malter and Tyler had their incident in turn 3, Gleitzman and Ballard were still having a close fight for 7th and 8th, and now we're watching the timing and scoring update, and we'll see where Malter ended up. I think he's about P8.
And I'm actually watching a little bit of Matt Alexander at this point. He sits in P4 in Spec Miata 1. He is among the most skilled people out there on this track. That car does still sit off to the side there at turn 3. It looks like he's in a safe area, so we are continuing green for the last couple of laps here. But watch out for Matt Alexander as he starts to hunt down Mike Bernardi.
And as unfortunate as it is, where Tyler's at, he's in a pretty safe part of the track, and it's not really one of those heavy passing zones. So the battle can still continue with Kushida and with Bertignoli, and they are just absolutely putting on a great show for us. Bertignoli goes for a tiny little bit of look to the inside at turn 8 as he still is closing up. And Bernardi, like we said, he could just sit back and let the race come to him. He's right in there in the mix now to possibly get even higher than his third place that he's got right now.
I agree with that because here with 2 laps remaining, you're going to look at the end of this straight into turn 11 as one of the opportunities that you might see Bertignoli toss it toward the inside. But Bernardi, look at how he's right there. He's right behind Bertignoli as these 3 come through turn 11. There's going to be one more lap to go as they come through turn 13 here shortly. Back in Spec Miata 2, you still got Sam Bowman leading that one with Kevin Lockridge in second place, and there's a decent spread. White flag. One more to go here. And look at Bernardi is looking all over the place at Alex Bertignoli. Nope. He thinks better of it. He was a little too far back. Bernardi still wants that third place, but he's going to stay close. Matt Alexander is going to be there to pick up the pieces if anything goes wrong in front of him.
He's only got about 2 miles to make a decision on whether he wants to elevate his bronze medal or not. And there's only a few places where you can actually really get that done. So he's either got to get a strong run out of 6 or he's got to get a strong run out of patience to make any elevation of his finishing position.
Bertignoli did a nice job out of 4 and 5. He's looking at Kushida as we head in towards 6. This is the closest that he's been as we approach turn 8. This is where it's going to take place right here. If it happens, it's going to happen right now.
Closing in on Kushida. He's going to take the far left line. Kushida goes into a defending position. He holds it off for now.
And there he goes inside. Nope. Kushida wisely holds off the inside into 9. 10. No problem here. Nobody had a bad line through 9, so 10 looks like it's okay. Oh, man, look at this. This is going to be a race down toward turn 11.
Drag race to 11.
Wow.
Kushida dips to the left and try and at least break that draft a little bit. That leaves Bernardi in on his own.
Bernardi looking inside.
Bertignoli.
Oh, he wasn't there. He wasn't there. He jumped out of the draft, and that didn't work out for him. Bertignoli has one more chance here at 13 as he goes wide. So does Kushida. This is going to be a photo finish. You got Matt Alexander in 4th, right behind Bernardi. As we approach the checkered flag, wow, they cross in exactly the same order. We've watched them for the last few laps. What a great battle between those 4. And here comes, that's Gavin Gleitzman.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And
Malter was able to salvage a little bit of his race. It looks like he's going to finish in P8.
Yeah, there goes Lockridge.
Satterfield. Lockridge across.
Kevin Davis.
Well-earned first place by Kushida. Those last couple laps, he definitely wasn't driving out of his windscreen. He was driving out of his mirrors.
Oh, for sure. Wow, what a great battle. What a great battle all the way around. In fact, we did have a good battle in Spec Miata 2 as well with Sam Bowman and Kevin Lockridge. Lockridge beating Stadalski is going to help him in the championship, so definitely watch the Spec Miata 2 championship standings and see how today will affect that situation. But what a great race. Taro Kishida, Alex Bertignoli, and Mike Brenati make up the top 3 for race 10 on the South Course here at Autobahn.
And as we get the last remaining cars coming across the line, we'll be able to have our conclusion here, but we just want to remind you, Spec Miata Race 2 is going to be at 2:45 p.m. Central today, so be sure to tune in for that one. The highest speeds for today will determine that grid, but again, Taro Kishida, great win. Alex Bertignoli, a great drive from P4. Mike Bernardi, Matt Alexander, Gavin Gleitzman, Scott Ballard, a great battle between those two. Billy Benning gave up the lead, still finishes P7.
That's
Jake
all right,
Walter,
though.
Scott
Billy
Bowman,
Benning, nice work.
And Luke Satterfield wrap up the top 10 for Spec Miata. And then for SM2,
yeah, looks like we know Sam won that one.
Yeah,
with
we know Sam Bowman
Lockridge
had
finishing
that one.
second.
Lockridge doing a great job for second place in that one, too.
Sean Benet rounds out the podium there in Spec Miata 2.
And there we are for our SM2 top 10. Sam Bowman, again, winner again. He's 14 years old.
2 for 2.
Certainly can wheel a car, and we know that karting progression into Spec Miata is great. Kevin Lockridge in P2, Sean Benet, Josh Dale, Mark Stadowski, Emmett Ryan, Connor Miklos, AJ Van Vuren. Good result.
Look at AJ, top 10 for AJ, his first race. Excellent work, AJ.
Bob Reisinger and John Southard. And nobody can say that it wasn't a hard-fought battle throughout the whole entire field. Even fighting for P10, I bet you everybody was having a blast out there.
Really enjoyed watching it, and I'm going to enjoy bringing race number 11 with you, Patrick Morgan, on our next live stream, which is going to come in a few hours. So thanks for joining us. So long from Autobahn.
Define nature. It's what defines the all-new 2024 Corvette E-Ray. The quickest Corvette ever, with 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. An electrified all-wheel drive that handles all 4 seasons. A supercar of contrasts. It's everything you never expected. One like none.
Welcome to Kart Circuit Autobahn, home of the best arrive and drive karting in the Chicagoland area. This is our brand new fleet of CRG Centurion rental karts that go 50 miles an hour. They're fast, fun, and safe. They are also built for the driver that has the need for speed. Come on out and show us what you got.
At Lexus, our motto is you have to feel it to believe it. Experience the exhilaration of the Lexus Performance line.
We're here at the acclaimed Daytona International Speedway to show the Blazer EVSS in a way it's never been seen. It's beautiful with a sleek and dynamic design, but performance is in our DNA. And what better way to put the Blazer EVSS to the paces than having Team Chevy NASCAR drivers Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain get behind the wheel.
She looks fast.
Sure does.
You want to see what she's got?
Let's go.
All right. Yoo!
This is a Blazer EVSS. Let's see what wild mode can do.
Let's go. Yes! So much torque.
This is what performance sounds like.
What a ride. You think the Cup car will be that smooth? My turn to drive.
From 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. Experience the sound of performance.
Yeah, I was definitely faster than Daniel.